Welcome. You found a quiet space where stories don't just speak to you. They help you remember the parts you forgot you were allowed to keep. If you ever loved someone so much you slowly vanished, this story is for you. As your breath begins to settle, maybe now is a good time to subscribe, not out of urgency, but as a gentle way of saying, I want to return to myself. Tonight's story is called The Mirror Between Us, Loving Without Losing Yourself. So let's begin. Loving Without Losing Yourself. Codependency and emotional mirroring. For those who give too much, forget themselves in love, or are learning to reclaim their emotional center. Her name was Lisa, and for most of her life, she mistook loving for disappearing. Not all at once, not in ways you notice from the outside, but slowly, like fog slipping into a room through the cracks in the window, until she could no longer find herself in her own reflection. She was kind, deeply empathetic, a natural giver, and whenever someone she loved was in pain, she would stretch herself thinner. She'd speak more gently. She'd carry both their wounds. She believed love meant adjusting, accommodating, making herself smaller so others can feel safe. It never felt like sacrifice at first, just care, compassion, compromise. But over time, the compromise became a habit, and the habit became hollowing. One day, after another relationship had quietly unraveled, not through cruelty, but through her quiet disappearance, Lisa found herself standing in front of an old mirror in a second-hand shop. It wasn't much to look at. The glass was speckled with time, the frame chipped and laced with ivy-shaped etchings. And yet, it pulled her in. When she looked into it, something strange happened. She didn't see her face. Not exactly. She saw all the ways she had left herself. Each time she said yes when she meant to say no. Each time she apologized for feeling too much. Each time she bent her truth just a little to keep the peace. The mirror didn't show her flaws. It showed her absence. And in that quiet second-hand shop, surrounded by other people's forgotten things, Lisa began to remember herself. That night, she brought the mirror home, placed it gently in her bedroom, and whispered to it like an old friend, "I want to see me again." And that was when the dreams began. In the dream, she stood on a shoreline. Waves rode in, quiet and rhythmic, like breath. In front of her stood a figure, a man, warm eyes, gentle presence, not trying to impress, not needing to be rescued, just there, holding space. And in his gaze, she didn't feel pulled. She didn't feel drained. She didn't feel small. She felt whole. Not because he gave her something, but because he didn't ask for her to give herself away. And when he reached for her hand, he said nothing. But in that space between them, she felt a message rise. What if the person who can truly love you is the one who helps you love yourself more deeply. When she woke, something had shifted. Not everything, but enough. Enough to speak more slowly. Enough to pause before saying yes. Enough to return to the mirror. This time not to vanish, but to witness. And slowly, she began to set new boundaries, not walls, just gentle edges. Edges that honored her energy, her voice, her worth. At first, it was awkward. Old patterns tug at her. People asked why she had changed. But those who truly loved her didn't leave. They leaned in. They grew alongside her. And one day, she found herself in a new connection. One that didn't feel like a performance. One that didn't feed on her silence. One that mirrored her, not by reflecting only her beauty, but by honoring her wholeness. And the mirror still sat in the corner of her room, no longer speckled, no longer chipped, because as Lisa reclaimed herself, the mirror began to clear. And now, as you listen, you might notice a part of you, a quiet part, beginning to wonder, where have I gone missing in my own story? And if you breathe into that space, not to fix it, but to simply see it, you may begin to feel the return. Because love doesn't mean losing yourself. It means bringing yourself fully to the table. And when you honor that, when you remember your worth, your needs, your edges, something sacred happens. You become the mirror. You become the light. You become the one who sees yourself clearly and welcomes others to do the same. So rest here now, with your breath, with your body, with the quiet wisdom that says, I do not need to shrink in order to be held. Hypnotic Induction. Seeing yourself again. Before we begin, allow yourself to get comfortable. Let your spine lengthen just a little, and your breath soften. You don't have to do anything perfectly. In fact, right now, you don't have to do anything at all. You've given enough today, thought enough, held enough. So this moment is yours. And you may begin to imagine a gentle stillness unfolding through your body, like warm light starting in your chest, spreading to your shoulders, your arms, your legs, until even your fingers forget to hold on. You might notice the way your breath slows without effort, the way your thoughts drift like leaves on a quiet river. No need to chase them. Just let them float by. And now, if it feels right, imagine a mirror in front of you. Not the kind you look into to check your appearance, but the kind that shows you, you. The real you. The one beneath the mask, beneath the roles, beneath the giving and adjusting and softening you've learned to do so well. This mirror has no judgment. It doesn't compare. It simply reflects what is. And as you breathe here, as you rest in this space, you might notice something beautiful, that you are already enough, already whole, even when you forget, even when you dim your light to make others more comfortable. And in this space, you may hear a truth rising softly from within. I can love without losing myself. I can give and still remain full. I am worthy of being seen clearly, completely, and without shrinking. Let these words settle. Let them root. Let them become the quiet hum beneath your thoughts. Because in just a moment, you'll be guided into a story, a soft reflection of someone who forgot herself in love, and slowly, lovingly, found her way back. And as the story begins, you can let yourself sink even deeper. Not down, not away, but inward, toward the place where your truth has been waiting. And when you're ready, the story will meet you there. So the key meanings to the story. Number 1, love that cost you your identity isn't love, it's disappearance. At the heart of the story is the experience of self-erasure in the name of love. Lisa's pattern, adjusting, accommodating, apologizing, is common for people with codependent tendencies or unresolved attachment trauma. True love doesn't require self-abandonment, it invites self-presence. Number 2, codependency can feel like care, but it slowly hollows us. The story normalizes how many people confuse people-pleasing with love. Lisa's story shows us that being overly responsible for others' feelings is not compassion, it's self-neglect in disguise. Saying yes to others while saying no to yourself eventually leaves nothing left to give. Number 3, the mirror symbolizes emotional self-recognition. The mirror is a metaphor for Lisa finally seeing herself, not how others need her to be, but how she truly is. It reflects all the moments she abandoned herself to keep peace or be liked. Healing begins with self-awareness and the courage to look inward without judgment. Number 4, boundaries are sacred, not harsh. Lisa's transformation involves setting edges, not walls, but boundaries rooted in worth. She learns that she doesn't need to over-explain, over-accommodate, or disappear to be loved. Boundaries aren't rejection, they're a map back to yourself. Number 5, emotional mirroring and healthy love promotes healing. When Lisa meets someone who doesn't ask her to shrink, something changes. This kind of connection reflects, not projects. It honors her edges instead of blurring them. The right relationship reflects your wholeness, not your wounds. Number 6, the path back to self is slow, gentle, and worth it. Healing from self-loss takes time. The story models how reclaiming identity happens not through force, but through small shifts, pausing before saying yes, honoring energy levels, choosing yourself quietly, again and again. You don't have to be less to be loved. You get to be more of yourself. And once again, you've done beautifully. By simply listening, you've given yourself the gift of stillness, of presence, of healing, and maybe something inside you has shifted, subtly, gently, like a curtain parting to reveal a little more light. If this story brought you peace, clarity, or a moment of rest, know that there's more waiting for you here. I'd love for you to subscribe so you can return whenever you need a soft place to land. For now, let the feeling stay with you. Let the story echo through the quiet and return anytime you're ready to listen. Until next time, be well.